welcome to this short tutorial. And today I thought I'd share a lesson that's really resonating on our leadership development program. And it's all about how to avoid setbacks. And we've called it No 2 Consecutive Days. Now, with every lesson we cover on our development program, we introduce an icon, a small image, and that's exactly what you've got here. So this image is to represent this particular lesson, this tutorial. And what you should see here is a chain or a link. And we've got one broken link. Now, the rule of no 2 consecutive days is all about ensuring you don't have 2 consecutive broken links. And that's really what we'll go into now. And so the key takeaway here is never allow 2 consecutive days of back-to-back poor performance. And what you've got is a bit of an asterisk. And we include the asterisk in our playbook, the leadership platform. It's in all our notes. And that asterisk really means it's not just about days. It also applies to consecutive weeks, months, events, conversations, meetings. So what you need to ensure is you don't have 2 consecutive back-to-back days, weeks, months of poor performance. And a way you can illustrate that is with this simple chart. And what you should see here is a bit of a winning streak going on that top row. So every day when you've hit your target or you've hit your performance, you've crossed it off. So you've had a number of days there where you've been crossing off. You've then moved on to kind of that row 2, and the third along, you've hit poor. You've hit an obstacle. Something's happened. So when it comes to our EGSP kind of wooden block, you've now hit poor. What you need to do is ensure you don't have 2 back-to-back days of poor performance. And in this instance, you haven't. You've got back up and you moved on. And the rest of that row 2, you've carried on kind of with your winning streak. Until you're halfway along that row 3, and again, you've hit poor again. So this is where you need to do everything you can, accept it's poor, but then do everything you can to avoid those 2 consecutive days of poor performance. Because if you have 2 consecutive days, that's when the wheels will fall off. You get demoralized, you become demotivated, things go south. So you absolutely need to ensure you do everything you can to ensure you avoid future setbacks. And one of the key takeaways here is, poor is the worst a situation can get. And that's something we should all remember. Accept it, move on, and take that responsibility. So if you think about the EGSP framework and our excellent, good, satisfactory, and poor, there's nothing below poor. There's nothing below that. So poor is the worst a situation can get. Accept it, and just by accepting it, sometimes that can really help. Suddenly it takes like a load of pressure away from you. Accept it's poor. Move on and take responsibility to ensure that tomorrow is better. And so, kind of a few useful reminders here. If you've accepted that this morning is poor, then ensure this afternoon is better than this morning. If today is poor, then ensure that tomorrow is better than today. Similarly, next week is better than this week. Ensure that your next meeting is better than this one. So you've had a rough meeting, you've had a poor meeting. Great, just accept it. But do everything you can to ensure that your next meeting is far better. And then lastly on there, you do everything you can to ensure your next conversation is better. So you've had a poor conversation, it didn't go the way you wanted it to, so do everything you can to ensure that your next conversation is better than your last one. And so the key points then from this short tutorial: never allow 2 consecutive days of back-to-back poor performance. 1 day of poor performance is okay. Don't beat yourself up. Go easy on yourself, accept it and move on. But remember, 2 consecutive days, they'll knock you off track. So you'll lose momentum, you'll get demotivated, and you'll disappoint yourself and others. So do everything you can to ensure tomorrow is better. Yesterday is gone, you can't do anything about that. Focus on today and we get to go again tomorrow, which is good news. And so that's just a flavour of a short tutorial and one of the lessons that we cover in our leadership development programme. For every lesson, there's an action step as well, which is in the playbook and also on our learning platform. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, put some comments in the notes below. That's well worthwhile, and I'll get back to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you on our next tutorial.